So before I get to the immigration department, I saw reports yesterday that Azziad walked out of an interview with Mwende Macharia at Radio Maisha. I think she was asked something regarding Ababu Namwamba, the sports CS. As you know very well, Azziad and a group of other creatives had been appointed in the Talanta Hela Council or whatever, steering committee or something. Based on that, I think Azziad, that was very disrespectful, because you had been appointed in a committee overseen by the government which relies on taxpayers' money. Taxpayers want to have an idea of any update. Well, what did you do during that period of duration, those 2 months that you were in office? Did you have any meetings? Did you have any sittings? Did you talk about any budgets? Those are questions that we would be interested to hear. Were you allowed to work? Were you being bulldozed by government officials? Were you being coerced into corruption? Did you refuse to be coerced into corruption and that's why you were removed? Those are valid questions, because you were appointed in a government outfit, government committee funded by taxpayers' money. So this is not the time. I mean, you agreed to be appointed. I mean, you were there when you were being unveiled. You were given, was it a certificate of appointment, and your names were gazetted. So you are a civil servant. As up to that point, you are a civil servant. If you didn't want to be part of, if you didn't want that or this interview, anything related to crop up, you would have turned down the appointment at the time. But against your better judgment, you took up, you rose up to the occasion, and then you were even unveiled to the members of the public. We saw your names, and we heard that you guys were having meetings. So suddenly you've been degazetted, or you've been disbanded. Why were you disbanded? Who gave the sports CS the authority to disband a committee that he had only formed 2 months earlier? What are the behind the scenes shenanigans? We would want to know. Those are very important details for us as the people. You draw or you derive your mandate from the people, and the people require that you answer to some of these questions. Now, whether they take whatever trajectory, it's for you to control the interview. It's not you to walk out. Me, I can walk out because I am not a government employee, but you have been appointed in a government outfit, whatever you want to call it. We want to know, is there a future? I mean, you've never even spoken about Talanta Hela anywhere. So when a journalist is bold enough to ask that questions, because the other people who seem to interview you are bootlickers, people who are just telling you, oh my God. But here we are getting down to the serious issues about your appointment. Why were you released? Did you have a sitting? Were you ever paid? Are you going to sue them for wrongful terminations? Those are very valid questions. Now, anything, if it takes a personal trajectory, you can control. You can say, no, that is out of bounds, but this is what we had been appointed to do. We sat down. We want answers for that, because in the same manner that, in the same high profile manner that you were appointed, we want to know, and our interest levels were heightened because of that appointment. They specifically chose you because they thought you would bring value to the table, PR value, publicity, trends, whatever. That's the reason you were appointed. And so in the same manner, we are concerned that this committee was disbanded without any notice, without any explanation, because this is the government. This government, they don't think that they owe anyone an explanation. They just wake up and do stuff. So you don't have to be hostile. Nobody has to be hostile. You just have to say, this is what happened. I'm sure even all the other people who are members of that committee, the journalists should be keen on asking them what happened, what are the details, why did this guy disband this committee? Because this sports minister is a thug. We've seen the stadium, he went there, he stole money, claiming that he spent 478 million on a stadium that looks like a toilet. We saw him against a court order, he brought back FKF against a court order. The court had already said that these guys should be disbanded because of mismanaging football in the country and embezzling funds meant for the national team, Harambee Stars, but he still reinstated them. So this is somebody who has his achievement, or the direction that he's taking sports is down the rabbit hole. So we are very concerned. So next time, Azziad, you don't walk out of an interview. The only time you are allowed to walk out of an interview is if you see Moses Kuria coming in and he's on the same panel. That one you are allowed. By when you're brought for such unscrupulous co-panelists, you are allowed to walk out. But for this one, you are alone. You just needed to respond to that without any emotions and drama. So the immigration department, this is a message to the staff of immigration department, the staff at Nyayo House, because you're so full of shit, you guys. Listen here. And let me tell you, sometimes you're orchestrating your own funerals. You hear, you're engineering your own funerals because of your stupidity, your laziness. You don't take your job seriously. You think that your job is there. You're in a holiday camp. We come there. We are trying to renew. We are trying to extend. We are trying to do anything. You guys are taking us around in circles. Go to 4th floor. Go to 6th floor. Go what? You're doing all the other shenanigans. Listen here. There were parastatals that nobody thought would ever collapse. They are parastatals. You remember the Kenya Post and Telecommunications Corporation. It was, and then now there was Posta. It went to Telcom Kenya, and then it went to Posta. All of these were parastatals nobody thought would collapse. Plus many others, I might have forgotten them. Even Kenya Power is only in business because of a monopoly created by law. Otherwise, if that thing was overhauled, if that law was recalled, then Kenya Power would not be. They would be out of business tomorrow. So here you are given a task. It should be a national task, a duty. You're given here to oversee the immigration department. Just a simple document called a passport. Now, you people think you'll be there forever because of your stupidity. The permanent secretary of immigration, is called Julius Bitok, has said it repeatedly that he wants to privatize the passport printing because of you guys are ruining the machines. You guys are sabotaging the machines because you want to be bribed, so that you can create artificial delays because you want to be bribed. You want to give me 10,000, 20,000 if you want this during this time. You create a problem and then you monetize the solution. You're not different than the Kenya Power people who go, and the Kenyan people, they drain the dams, the Seven Forks dams, so as to create opportunities for independent power producers. They don't understand that they are shooting themselves in the foot, and you're orchestrating, you're engineering your own funerals. The people who are in Kenya Post and Telecommunications Corporation, they were permanent, pensionable. They were the best paid staff. I know a couple of them who are now living desolate. Walirudi Ocha. You guys munarudi Ocha, munajirudisha Ocha juu ya your own stupidity. I don't understand why, for you to be employed in the immigration department, must you be the dumbest person north of Limpopo, south of the Sahara? Because that seems to be the most stupid people in Kenya, the ones who are appointed in the immigration department. Now, let me tell you, once they outsource that particular function of the passports, you guys will be downsized. They will make you redundant. Now you're permanent and pensionable. You're living your best lives. You're coordinating. You even have side hustles while you're still in Nyayo House. Some of you own matatu. Some of you own, I don't know, cyber cafes. Some of you're living your best lives. When you think that this is, instead of you now repaying the privilege, you repaying it with efficiency, with commitment, with punctuality. You guys are just TikToking. You're just looking at TikToks in the office. You're sending somebody upstairs. Everyone is just complaining about delayed passports because of you idiots. Now, let me tell you, mtarudi Ocha nyinyi watu. When that function is privatized, just like Telcom Kenya was privatized and Posta, now we are sending parcels with Super Metro and matatus. Yes, because Posta, they had a monopoly and they screwed it up. They had a monopoly, and those guys went home. Now I don't understand who works in Posta. Is it still functional? But there's nobody when I go to the post office. Now you guys will be made redundant. Mtarudi Ocha, mtarudi mashambani nyinyi, nyinyi manugu, mtarudi mashambani nyinyi. You'll be regretting why you didn't exert more effort, more diligence to your work. Everyone else, me, I am self-motivated. I work. I'm not supervised by anyone. You want us to supervise you, to tell you how to do just because you want bribes. Nyinyi mtarudi ocha, nyinyi wasenge, nyinyi mnarudi ocha, nyinyi watu wa immigration mafi, nyinyi